I'll try to fill up more good things as we go. I get cut off. Like I was gonna say, draft dodging is a good thing and a bad thing. People go to Canada, they marry their wives, or they join the Coast Guard. Those were the three big ones back during Vietnam or back during the Korean War. You either married, you went to Canada, you got super religious, or you joined the Coast Guard. Those were the ways that people dodged. We've known this for a long time now. That those are the ways you can dodge the draft, or at least that was the ways that people used during Vietnam. Those are the four big ones: get married, go to Canada, join the Coast Guard, get super religious. Oh, or for the rich only, get a doctor's note. I forgot about that one. That's for only rich people, though. Get it? That's how Trump got out of Vietnam. He has a bone spore. He's too sick to fight in Vietnam, but he's perfectly fine to run our whole country. Yes, he could never ever run his platoon because he has a bone spur. But if the country's on fire and we need him to run across and get to the helicopter and get in the helicopter and use the nuclear bomb in California and protect our country, that bone spur is not going to bother him one bit. It's going to bother him, so he can't run a platoon, but he can run a whole country. Anyways, what that really was a draft dodge. He came from a very well off family, so they paid a doctor for a doctor's note. One of the other well known dodge drafts. It's where you get a doctor's note that says you're disqualified. So that's another one. But my father wasn't rich enough to get a doctor's note. So he actually gave real meal. He picked the best one. He really served. He didn't have to go get blown up and deal with the bullshit that other people had to deal with. He made the right decision. So my father is smart. He makes good decisions, but he makes good decisions for himself. When it comes to making decisions for his wives, or making decisions for his sons, or making decisions in that regard, he lets other people take charge. And no matter how violent, no matter how crazy things get, well, that's my wife's decision, and I stick by her. If she wants to drug a child and not bring him to the emergency room, that's her decision. If that child is talking to the doctor about getting help for an overdose, well, we're not calling it an overdose. We're just calling it going blind, losing the sight, losing the ability to feel, screaming for help, and needing an ambulance. That's what we're calling it. So, does he blink an eye when his wife dodges the question and uses excuses in the doctor's appointment? Not one bit. Why? Because my father makes good decisions for himself, but if his wife is making a bad decision, or if somebody else is getting hurt because somebody else made a bad decision, that is none of his business. If his brother does not want to join the Coast Guard, if his brother is not going to get super religious, if his brother is not going to move to Canada, if his brother is not going to get married, and he's just going to enlist and go to Vietnam as a paratrooper, that's his brother's decision. And he's not going to interfere. He's not going to try to lead him away. No. My father made a good decision. His brother made the decision that was good too. They both were honest people making good decisions. But could have my father helped my mother do better? Absolutely. Could have he helped me so I didn't have a neurological disorder and my nervous system and body isn't fried? Yes, he could have helped me at age 7. He could have helped me at age 9. He could have helped me at age 12. He could have helped me at age 16. He could have helped me at age 19. He could help me at age 24. He could help me at age 31. And I'm still asking him now to pick up the phone and deal with your second wife's shit. This is your shit mess. This is your shitstorm. I'm not the one who called the doctor. I didn't make up names about me to the doctor. I didn't call me a shithead. I didn't get the pills. I didn't tell them to put the pills in my stomach. I did not tell my mother to lie to the doctor. I did not want to move away from my doctors. Nobody told me I wouldn't be able to see my doctor if we moved to Texas. Nobody informed me or told me what decisions were being made. I didn't sign no paperwork. There was no information for me to go through. And even if we did, I didn't get a choice to move to New Mexico. Even if I did get a choice to move to Texas, I didn't get to stay in Texas much more than a couple of years. I was moved right out of Texas, right to New Mexico, right when a doctor I was speaking to about my physical health. So I'm getting moved around. I didn't ask for you guys to cut off doctors. I didn't ask for you guys to cut off teachers. I didn't ask for you guys to destroy my health care and my education. But you guys made those decisions, and I'm the one that has to pay for them. Well, some of these things need to be cleaned up legally. You cannot allow your son just to live in the woods like a chipmunk because you don't want to clean up your mess. That's ridiculous. The only thing holding my father from going to prison or losing everything he has is me being nice and him keeping secrets. If this stuff came out, or if people were just honest, or if I just stayed in one spot, my father would have already been in big trouble at age 7 when I mean 25 years ago. I mean, goddamn, if I was brought to the hospital that day like I should have been, they would have been in trouble that same night. If I, at the doctor's office, the doctor was allowed to look into my injuries, and if I was allowed to stay with those teachers and doctors, again, my father would have been in trouble and I would have got health care. I would have had a neurologist, I would be on epilepsy medication today, and I would be holding a job just fine. I wouldn't be having seizures on the ground, falls, or problems with the cold. But instead, we moved to Texas. Instead of my father and mother having to take responsibility for their actions, me going to see a neurologist, me getting epilepsy medication, then I learn, at my own pace and I catch up to the other kids, then I get dropped in the public school as I live in the orphanage. None of that happened. Instead, we moved to Texas and I got no neurologist. I kept on falling. I kept on putting on jackets. There was more symptoms. Teachers kept on seeing problems with my physical health. And my mother just called, oh, it's a mental health. It's a mental health. And then I would be moved to another state. And it's a mental health. It's a movement to another state. And before long, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And my mother has a whole pile of paperwork saying mental health. So, of course, that's a fucking problem. Now I'm 31. I need to go to work. My job, the shelter, everybody has said that I got to handle these seizures, falls, and when I'm not able to use my legs and arms properly. I need to be able to use my arms and legs. That's it. That's it, Dad. I want to use my arms and legs, and I'm perfectly allowed to do it, but they're not going to help me because the choices my father made. So I'm not too happy about that. And it happened, and I like using my arms and legs. I don't like my father taking that away from me because his mother wanted to play, sorry, because his wife and my mother wanted to play doctor when I was a child. That's not right. And there's help out there for me. There are neurologists, there's epilepsy medication, a whole bunch of them. But I can't be given or prescribed any of these medications until I get diagnosed and we get a full workup on me. And we get all the truth out there, the cause of the injury, the symptoms in childhood, the different doctors that seen these symptoms, the diagnosis of coordination issues, the speech problems, the movement problems in Westford, the speech problems, movement problems in Texas, the fact that I was cut off from doctors and cut off from teachers in Texas, and I was in New Mexico where 18 months is a complete black hole. Then you can add 6 months in Maine as a complete black hole. So the doctors need to know there's a black hole in my records as well. And then when I go to Chelmsford, they need to know that my mother was just spouting a lot of stories because she really didn't want to take responsibility for her actions. And then doctors can help me. I can go to work. I can be on epilepsy medication. I can even get Social Security. So when I have a seizure and I'm out of work recovering for 30 days because my head just got banged off a table, I'm bleeding all over the place, and I'm having trouble walking again, no big deal. I use the Social Security to pay my rent for 30 days. I go back to work partly injured, and I'm back to work, blah, blah. No big deal. But as long as everybody is thinking of my mother's fantasies and my father's lies, I'm not going to really get the help I need. So even though I truly believe there's a lot of good things with my father, the bad things are way, way need to be handled. I could spout good things all day, but letting your son die in the woods and suffer from an injury for 25 years, not letting anybody know your son's real disability and trying to keep that disability hidden when your son comes forward and tells you about it after your wife has killed herself and went through liver failure. And as much as my father's in denial about it, he watched my mother drink booze right when she came in the door with liver failure. 20% of her liver is all that's working, and she goes straight for the liquor cabinet. And she was literally in the emergency room an hour before, and they told her she wasn't even going to be allowed home. But she begged, so they said, okay, okay, to see your family just for a little bit. And she goes right for the liquor cabinet. So she's definitely killing herself. So after all that stuff, all I want to do is walk into a doctor's office, walk into Social Security, go to work, and live my life. But I cannot do that. Every time I try to do those things, I run into my mother's and father's bullshit again. A problem that needs to be fixed that's out of my hands. And then when I call my father and say, hey, I just went down to Social Security, my doctor, and my job, and all three of them told me that your problem needs to be handled before they're going to let me work, before they're going to let me use a shelter, before they're going to give me Social Security, or before they're going to give me health care. They need to know what the fuck I'm talking about. What is this overdose? Well, Dad, we're going to need to have a discussion about how crazy your second wife was, how nutty she was, and the injuries I have today that affect me every day of my fucking life that are getting worse that you have seen for 25 years. Yes, that disability that mom was hiding and the fucking lies and all the bullshit needs to stop. It's time to handle the truth. It's time to live in the real world. Zach has ADHD. He talks a lot. He doesn't shut up. He's hyper. He's twitchy. He falls down. He does stuff wrong. He tries to throw stuff and it goes in the wrong direction. He tries to shoot a basketball, it goes the wrong direction. He tries to catch a football, it bounces out of his hand. There's a bunch of stuff like that that goes on. No matter how much Zach knows, it seems to still fuck up. Zach keeps fucking up. He knows how to shoot a basketball. He's just made the basketball, but yet now he does seems like he doesn't know how to shoot the basketball. He was just walking fine, and now he's walking terribly. He was just writing his name fine. Now he's in speech and writing therapy and speech therapy and physical therapy. And he's in all these different things, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, I do, Dad. I do. That's the thing. I know what's going on. I have ADHD. I was born with it. I have anxiety and PTSD from all the things my mother did to me, including New Mexico. Oh my God, terrible things my adopted mother did to me, including make up stories like, he just has attachment disorder. That's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only reason why he doesn't like me is his attachment disorder. It has nothing to do with the crazy, harmful things I'm doing to him. Yeah, he loves this ruler to the face. Yes, Zach loves a metal ruler to the face until he has a big mark on his face, and then he has a mark on his shoulder, and he's getting whipped just to send a message to his frickin' older brother. That's it. It has nothing to do with him doing anything this day. So, yeah, Zach just loves that ruler to the face and the shoe flying at his eyeball. He loves that. He loves the drugs destroying his insides and being sick all the time. He loves the fact that once in a while his meds do something crazy. His mother says, come take your meds. You take your meds and then you get sick, and your mother just says, no, no, you're supposed to be like that. So yeah, he loves all this crazy shit going on. It has nothing to do with the metal object hitting him in the face. No, it's all attachment disorder, my mother says. Fucking bullshit. What my mother was saying that my swimming medal I won meant attachment disorder, meant I was a liar, meant I was a thief, and meant I was making up fantasies. I've been hearing that since age 7. It's my mother's and father's favorite excuse. It's fantasies. He's mentally ill. It's all lies. It's all made up. No, it's a mental illness. No, it's this mental illness. No, if that was true, then he would say it this way. No, 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 I know when he's lying. No, I know my son better than anybody. Even though they don't know shit. That's the thing. They don't know shit about me. They don't know shit about my illnesses. They don't know my hobbies. They don't know my medications. They don't know what I'm trying to talk about at school. They don't know the things I face. They don't know how religious I am. They don't know my interests. They don't know even what my behaviors are like. I'm the goody two shoes kid who gets beat up because I do everything I'm told and I always follow the rules. I was always beat up in every program all the way back to age 5 years old because I'm the rule follower, I'm the church goer, I'm the goody two shoes. I'm always helping other kids, I'm always helping staff members, I'm always trying to go the extra mile. I'm just twitchy a lot of times and I fall down and things seem to break and fall out of my hands. That's me. That is what everybody looked at me as. That's not what I called myself. I tried to be goth. I tried to be the bad smoker boy. That was what I was trying to be. But instead, everybody saw me as a goody two shoes that would only follow the rules. Oh, Zach never gets in trouble. He's always following the rules. The only thing Zach gets in trouble for is smoking. Smoking and pot. That's it. So, yeah. But at the time when I'm getting beat up for being a rule follower, and other kids are thanking me for helping them. So I'm either getting big hugs and thank yous from the kids, all around the kids, and then they're making fun of me because they're jealous, or I'm getting a lot of attention from the staff or stuff like that because I'm doing the right things. And the only thing I'm getting in trouble for is the cigarette, cigarette, cigarette. Cigarette, he ran away to smoke a cigarette, and now he's right back. He ran away for 5 minutes to smoke a cigarette, and he's right back. Cigarette, 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 cigarette. Falling asleep on the mornings in the shower, falling asleep in the mornings in the shower because of medication issues, mother acting crazy at home, he gets sent back, stuff like that. You just pretty good stuff, huh? I get hugs, staff love me, staff are coming doing favors for me. I'm the only kid in the only program with the internet. No kid's allowed to have the internet, but I'm allowed to have it. The staff even know I have it now. All of them, even the owner of the program, know I have it, but I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. They told me as long as I keep my mouth shut and I don't let anybody know that the staff members in the program knows, I can keep it. So I get all these cool little privileges that none of the other kids get because I'm always following the rules and I'm going the extra mile. The staff members buy stuff off me and they're not worried that it's stolen. They would never buy a Game Boy DS off any of the other kids there because they would think it was stolen. But Zach would never be stolen. Zach's too goody two shoes to steal something like that. Nope, never. And they know that for a fact. Everybody knows that for a fact. Zach would never steal. He's the type of person that brings you back in the return if he finds out you stole. Zach's too fucking goody two shoes. Yeah, I had a homeless girl that stole some incense with me, and I brought her back. Oh my God, she's like 40 and I'm 30. I couldn't believe this worked. I told her, if you bring this back, I know the owner, I know the guy in there, and he'll just take the stuff back and let you right back in. Nobody cares. But I really want you to do that. And she did it, and nobody cared. I couldn't believe it worked out. And I couldn't believe she actually listened to me, because that's something you do with a child. She was in her 40s. But she returned the thing. But only I would do that. Anybody else wouldn't give a fuck. You stole some incense from Rite Aid? Good for you. Let's get out of here. Instead, I'm being like, oh, well, I know the guy in there. Why don't we just go in and I'll explain it? It's good. Let's go back in. Only I do stuff like that. So that's me. I'm a goody two shoes. People don't like that. Gang members don't like me. Criminals don't like me. People doing stuff the wrong, illegal don't like me. My mother didn't like that about me, that I was always too honest. My father doesn't like my honest type of part of me. And he tries to deny that I'm actually honest, but then he belittles me for being too honest. Stuff like that. So we got lots of that going on. But then I come home for the weekend and I'm called a liar, a thief, and called all these names. So you got to remember, my father doesn't know shit about me, not one bit. But I know my father's a good person. He just goes into denial and he's very neglectful of his children when it comes to his wives. If his wife wants to put pills, extra pills, and get a kid on extra pills, and then mess around with those pills, and then the son has a reaction on the carpet, and they tell her to bring me to the emergency room, she can hang up the phone, go, no, they don't know what they're talking about, and let the kid sleep off the overdose. And my father won't bat an eye because my wife is handling it. She knows what she's doing. I fully support my wife's decisions, even if they're bad decisions. That's the old school way, I guess. I don't know. I guess if somebody's about to kill a child, well, you're with your wife to the end. She goes to prison, and so do you with her. That's the way to go, right? Bonnie and Clyde style. I don't really know, but I gotta say that's a good feature and a bad feature. My father is Bonnie the Clyde style. He'll go off the cliff swinging with his wife. He'll hold that shotgun right next to his wife to the person with the other gun right at them, and they rob that bank together and they go off the cliff together. I mean, that's